Hi guys, Kirk here, Kirk Giordano, Plastering with my sons Jason and Dan. What we're doing today is showing you how to watertight a chimney as best as possible with what we got to work with. What we got down here is we had just a brick, so what we did is we put a couple tubes of caulking in here, then we put up a Tyvek membrane, then we put some more caulking, then we did 2 layers of paper. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking this piece of rebar and going all the way in back of this chimney and coming out the other side. And if I can, we've been doing this for quite a while now because getting all the little scraps out of there. Now we got it to the stage after about an hour or two of the new paper is going to go straight all the way through, and Jason's going to pull it out on the other side, and we're going to shift it down as far as we can. We're working with the contractors here. They're removing these and putting the paper flashing underneath, but that's another bridge we're crossing right now. We're doing a few things at one time. So I'll show you how we take it here and then how we seal this area here too. There are a lot of ways to do a chimney. I'm showing you guys this because I've been asked how to do chimneys about 30 times, and we've done about 30. Anyhow, there's metal that goes here and goes inside here with a Z channel, but that's time consuming and I didn't recommend it on this one. There's also J channels to put here, but because it goes all the way through, it's a different scenario. They tore all the stucco off this house because all of the caps failed, but this chimney is in great condition. It didn't fail, so we're coming up with a different solution. Every chimney comes up with a different solution. Anyway, when we get to that stage, we'll show you. Okay guys, now if you notice on this particular, I just used a piece of rebar, taped it to this. You got it on your side, Jay?
Yeah, we're good.
You see how Jay and I are pulling this through? That's all the way through. That's going to watertight it. When I get down in here, I'm going to show you another technique as soon as we get to that point. We're actually working with the contractors here. They're a little bit behind us, and we're just too fast for them. So anyway, we're putting it all together, and as we get to the next stage, we'll show you that too. A lot of ways to do this. Okay guys, we are still waiting on a Z flashing for here. The contractor, it's getting late in the day. He's supposed to have that out for us. Actually, he's supposed to install that a long time ago. But anyway, now that we've got Tyvek all the way between here, we are going to repeat that exact same process with 2 more layers of paper, and hopefully he'll be back so I can show you the whole thing here, and then I'll show you how we're going to seal between here. And no, we're not going to put plaster in there because I won't be able to squeeze. We're going to pull the wire through, but I won't be able to squeeze the plaster all the way in back, especially on the bottom where we have a 4-foot piece, but I do have a solution for that. All right guys, I'm going to show you how we do that chimney in a second here. The contractors here, I'm always hustling on my jobs, but these guys got me working on this particular one. We all work together, and if somebody's not quite sure what they're doing, then we give them a hand, especially if we have the time. Anyway, I'll show you folks what we generally do. We get a piece of Z flashing, we cut the edges off, we're going to miter those, bend it down, tack that guy in there, but that's not what we are doing. We're always multitasking. Every time I do a job, I'm multitasking. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. Working with these contractors, they got me triple multitasking. Anyway, this stuff here, it's good. It seals gaps. Most products we use say they're water resistant. This also says water resistant because if you say waterproof, you get in a lot of trouble. Anyhow, we were doing this stuff. A buddy of mine had a bunch of wasp nests, and he tried boric acid, muriatic acid, gasoline. He tried all kinds of weird things, and I was telling him, man, aren't there more humane ways to get rid of the wasps? And he said, well, he tried this, but it didn't work. I said, did you get a tube? And so all I did was I got a tube and I put it on this rebar. I'm going to connect this tube in this tube, and I'm going to go down to the very bottom, and I'm going to squeeze this in here and get this at the very bottom here where it really matters, because I want this to foam out. And no, I can't use cement. And plus we don't want to use a channel here. Anyway, this worked once. I mean, this works great You got this stuff that triple expands. You got this which expands about 1 inch. I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Now, you folks don't have to do this. I'm just there's a lot of ways to do this. This is just the way I'm doing it. Now, as I hit this can here, it's going to spray, and it's going to, by tomorrow, it's going to come out of all these seams, and it's going to give me a watertight seal in here. So I start inside here with my rebar. Then I just squeeze this in, and there it goes. It's going inside, and I can actually see it filling that up. So I'm going to keep on filling it. And anyway, this is a tedious, slow process, but it does work. My buddy, when I told him about the wasps, he ended up putting so many cans of this, and he said, "Here, Kirk, you do it." And I said, "Why me?" He said, "Well, you're not allergic to bees." And when I told him, "Hey, why don't you go with a humane way of filling those holes up for the wasp to get killed?" He said, "Man, you ever go to the hospital with both eyes swollen where you had to have your family member drive you?" And I said, "No." He said, "That's why I'm filling these holes." So this way, I'll pull it out a little bit. You can see what it's doing. It's filling it up, and this is just my way of doing this because I want to leave the best seal I can get on this. There's a lot of different ways to do this, guys. Some guys will pour concrete or cement in there. It's not watertight. Okay, guys, different day. What we had here is this foam was everywhere. What I did was I took my trowel, I cut it here, and then I gently cut it here. We don't want to rip that paper. I got all this foam. It was sticking out way to here. And the idea, again, is this chimney, I could only get my stucco behind it about 6 inches. This chimney is 2.5 feet here. It's 4 here. So what we don't want is, I don't want a big air cavity behind this because the mice will move in. You'll get mice in there, bugs, all kinds of stuff. So after this sets up, now we have a solid surface back there. And usually when we were doing this, we're multitasking. We're doing a Tyvek stucco wrap here. And if you don't start from the bottom and work your way up, we end up using a lot of this tape here to tape all the joints. So that's why I was a little uppity over there, doing too many things at once. But this particular system works well. What I was getting about earlier with those wasps and my buddy, when he put that extra tube on that can, he sprayed it in there the next day. Looked like something out of a horror movie, science fiction, because the wasp hole was here and foam was coming out of 10 different spots, meaning they had a whole bunch of different ways to go in. That's why I was thinking it's a good system for this. Anyhow, guys, it's not about killing wasps. I was just using that as an example. It's about getting rid of the cavity behind here because we really don't want an open spot for the mice or so to move in. Thank you folks for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.